Hey, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with the Dwarves, Blind. Now, I'm still here in the Ogre Death's stronghold, and apparently the High King has put forward my candidacy for his replacement, but mostly as a ruse to try and stall the actual election. Because the favorite pretender is a bit of a, well, apparently, assuming the High King knows him well, he might be a decent person himself, but his advisor is like mad with hatred towards the elves. So basically, they need me to oppose him, because if he isn't voted in unanimously, then the king, who is still technically reigning, can decide like a contest. So I'm supposed to go back to my chambers, and tomorrow I'm going to make a speech before the assembly, so I guess I'm going to bed, because I've explored every other option.
You are looking forward to the first proper bed for weeks.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's go.
You undress and lie down. Before you know it, your eyes close and you fall asleep. When your new armor is brought to you the next morning, you can hardly believe your eyes. However, as a smith, you can't stand the fact that you haven't contributed anything to it, and decide to add some inlays.
Even one who wears the armour of a prince can still be a farrier underneath it, don't you think, Tungdil Bolafar?
Okay, so first of all, it's a nice sentiment on the part of the protagonist that he feels he needs to contribute in some way to the craftsmanship of the armor that he received. I feel like that's a very dwarven idea, and I like that. And this is the advisor of the king, who's running in opposition to me, to be the High King. I could, engage in a snark battle against him, but I don't think I will. At least not yet, because to be honest, I don't know that much about him, apart from the fact that he wants war against the elves, and to be honest, I'm only primed to see it as a bad thing, because it seems like an obvious red herring situation, because, for all I know, in universe, they might actually be guilty. I just seriously doubt that they are. I think it was the Alfar that killed King Gandagar's, I think it was brother or father, and they blamed it on the regular elves.
What are you doing in here?
Ignoring your question, Bislipur eyes you very exactly before he speaks.
So, you want to be one of our kingdom? A foundling brought up by a wizard? One wouldn't think it possible. And I don't think it possible either. There is no proof of your origin, and Gandagar's the council on his side. Why don't you spare yourself the disgrace and just not turn up in front of the council? Put your scheme to bed, and we will take you into our kingdom. We will give you everything you need your whole life long. In exchange, you support Gandagar instead of challenging him.
And what if I don't withdraw my candidacy?
You wish to stand against your own king? A stray dwarf offending a deserving leader such as Gandagar through his claim? No one in the Brown Range will like that. Prepare yourself for life as an outsider among the Fourthlings.
I guess this is a decent point, because even though there is no solid proof of me, being whatever of the clan that I say I am, I kind of forgot already. Was it the secondling? Because this is a secondling fortress. There is no proof either of the letter, of whether the letter that they brought blaming the elves being true.
Proof? Oh, you mean like your letter that has been found after 1,000 cycles and makes the elves responsible for the fall of the Fithlings?
It is no secret that the elves are deceitful, and what could possibly be more suited to get one over on us than letting the perished land in and presenting us as the scapegoat?
The elves have been displaced by the perished land and are now almost eradicated.
I said they are deceitful, not wise.
Children of the Smith cannot be silenced.
You are a dwarf, I confess, but no fourthling can remember a dwarf child ever going missing.
And you know thousands of the fourthlings personally, and know exactly where they live in the mountains, what they're planning, or what small tragedies take place in their lives?
You have a sense that all the long evenings in the library and debating with Lot Yonan weren't for nothing, as Bislipper struggles for a reply, then lets it go. You have had enough of this dwarf. He makes you feel uneasy, or worse still.
Get out!
A humanized bastard will not issue me orders. Know your place, false dwarf.
To be honest, that whole situation, I feel, is majorly undercut by the fact that we are indeed lying. Like, sure, I don't like King Gandagar's plan to wage war against the elves, and I don't like the manner in which his advisor speaks to Tangdil and how he treats him with open contempt for being an orphan raised by the humans, where that was not really his choice. It's not like he left the dwarven civilization on his own accord. He was a child when he went missing. But on the other hand, I can't deny that, technically speaking, he's correct. This is all a charade. There is no actual proof of me being a fourthling, and this is all a plot, basically, by the ruling High King to stall the election. So I feel uneasy with the fact that I cannot actually refute his points. I can only argue with his general disposition towards me and whether it is unfair or not, but I cannot argue his points because technically speaking he is correct. This is all a plot. So I don't feel particularly great about that.
Some of the gold has left a coin-sized mark on the back of your hand. It hurts, but you like the idea that a bit of the metal you love is now part of you. The armor has been made by a master. Over the chainmail is steel plate, alloyed with gold in many places, which certainly appeals to you. There are also several decorative elements made of stone to honor its origin in the kingdom of the best stonemasons. You had just finished setting the last inlay, the seal of Lot Yonan, who brought you up and is gone, when Bislipper interrupted you.
Okay, to be honest, I'm not sure how connecting stone to a metal armor is supposed to work. Like is it screwed to it somehow? Or, it seems like not the best idea to use stone as an armor part, but I guess it's mostly just for ornaments. So I guess it's maybe instead of gems or something, it actually uses stone, which in itself is actually a pretty cool idea, because the secondlings, being the best stonemasons, they sort of value stone more than they would jewels. So maybe they use it in place of a jewel, whereas for a human it would be nonsense, because obviously stone is not particularly decorative by itself, especially compared to a gemstone. But I like this idea. I like that the secondlings are so proud of their skill in masonry that they sort of actually prefer, inserting regular stone as an ornament as opposed to a gemstone or a jewel.
Not only is it worthy of a king and fits me like a glove, but it should also offer me additional protection in battle.
Okay, apparently no helmet though. And no gloves either. That is pretty weird. Like, I can understand him not wearing a helmet outside of combat, because it would be very... what's the word? Unwieldy and kind of... it wouldn't be at all comfortable. It would limit his vision and all that. But I don't understand how such an ornate piece of plate armor can lack gauntlets. Like, hands are one of the most accident-prone, injury-prone parts of your body if you're in a fight, in a melee fight, especially if you fight with an axe, because obviously axes, as opposed to a sword, they lack hand protection, because they do not have, they don't have a cross guard. So that is a bit nonsensical in my opinion, but oh well.
That is why I, too, lodge a claim to the throne, and why I think I am the more capable heir.
Thank you for your speech, Tungdil Bolafar. The council may now ask questions.
Wait, the council might ask questions? So why am I asking the questions? I guess I can, confront them. I would mostly like to confront Bislipper specifically, and his supposed proof for the deceit of the elves.
Bislipper?
Nothing you say will convince anyone here. You didn't grow up amongst us, and no one knows if you really are a fourthling. I do not believe there has ever been a more unworthy heir to the throne of the High King. You are just wasting our time.
Okay, I think out of those 3 points, this one is actually probably the strongest, because tradition seems to be very important for the dwarves, so presenting me as a herald of new ideas is not necessarily as positive of a description as it might be to a human, and disparaging the idea of ancestry being important is also, dangerous in a society such as the dwarves.
Oh, I didn't know you were the spokesperson for everyone at this assembly, Bislipper. I had the impression that every dwarf is capable of forming their own opinion.
Absolutely.
Hear, hear!
He's right, you know.
Keep out of it, Bislipper.
Okay, so let's call the rest of the clans.
Yes, the dwarf from the Secondling Kingdom over there.
You say that a war against the elves would be madness. But how can such a young dwarf as you judge that? You've hardly seen anything of the world, has he?
Okay, we would lose is a terrible point, because it's not something that even counts for the dwarves, I believe, and neither does it for me, to be honest. I'm not against it on the principle that we would lose. I'm against it on the principle of it being unjust.
It is true. There is much that I only know from books. But it is written that it is our duty to defend and protect Girdlegard, and that includes the elves. And don't the elves have the same enemy as we do? They could stand by us in battle. Why should we play into the hands of the enemy by attacking them rather than working against the enemy together.
That is true.
He's right. The words of a clever warrior.
But the pointy ears hate us, and we hate them too.
What is it they say again? My enemy's enemy is my friend.
Yes? Your question?
Just so I get this right, you want to forge a weapon that is described in a book of fairy tales from the perished land to kill a demon that none of us has ever seen?
I have most definitely seen it. Goimgar, Yellow Belly, Shimmerbeard.
Okay, again, this is probably a bad point, because they won't respect an elf mage's word. I think this is actually the best thing to say.
We have seen the perished land with our own eyes, and its master Nodon could not be killed. Many have died for the books in which it is written how Keenfire can be made, and the Magus did all he could to get his hands on the two hafts made of Sigurd Daisy wood. Those are the facts, whether you like them or not. These problems won't solve themselves, so I ask you, is it the dwarven way to step aside and do nothing, or is it our way to act?
To act!
We don't hide away. If the humans won't stop the perished land, then we will.
We shouldn't get drawn in.
Let's show the Magus the strength of the dwarves.
I have heard enough. The council has heard the words of both candidates and must now make its decision. Those of you who wish to see Tungdil Bolafar, the returning son from the Firstling Kingdom, as my successor, raise your axe.
Well, they are actually raising
And
hands,
those who
but...
wish to see Gandagar Silverbeard from the Silverbeards, the king of the Firstling, as my successor. It's close, but Gandagar has received more votes.
Very good. Ha ha!
Excellent. Here's to Gandagar!
Long live our new High King!
However, the result was not unanimous, and as acting High King, I avail myself of my right to demand a contest between the aspirants.
What is this?
But he won the ballot.
It's the rules. The High King has the right to do so.
Respect! He is still the High King.
Silence!
You have heard the High King's command. Write down your challenge for the aspirants. Are you ready? The one that masters this task first will become the High King. It is an expedition. The trial is to lead a group to forge the axe Keenfire in the Grey Range, which can then be used to fight against the Magus Nodon.
An expedition into the perished land?
Ha ha! Brilliant!
You can't be serious.
That's what I call a worthy challenge, don't you think?
I call it luck, Scholar. Of all the challenges, Bislapur draws this one. Ha ha ha.
Yes. Luck.
But, my king, don't demand this of me. Why me, of all people?
You are one of my best gem cutters, and I promise to support him. It should be a fair contest. Or should I break my word just because of you?
But...
You will go, Goimgar Shimmerbeard. Do not put us to shame. Follow Tungdil's instructions. Go, and come back in good health.
And with that, our group is complete.
Who have you chosen as Mason?
Good day, gentlemen.
Bavragor? The old drunkard?
Old drunkard? He assured me he's the best stonemason here. The High King himself sent him.
Well, I said I was precisely the stonemason you need. I didn't exactly say I was sent by the High King.
You let yourself be tricked by a drunkard.
I don't want him with us.
Rest assured, Boindil, I too could imagine better company. But Tungdil gave me his word.
Yes, I gave you my word. And as long as you are capable of doing the stonework needed for Keenfire, you are welcome. Girdleguard is at stake here.
I wish you no ill fortune, Tungdil, but also no good fortune. The throne belongs to me, and through my victory, Vracus will show the clans.
The task is clear to the contenders? The first to forge Keenfire and bring it back here has proven his abilities and will be our new High King to lead us in battle against Nod-On.
It will take months to complete the task. The journey to the Fiflings alone is a long and dangerous business.
Dangerous, yes, but not necessarily long. Do you know the old tunnel system that connects the Dwarven kingdoms?
Tunnels are all well and good, but why should we get there so much quicker under the ground than over it?
A knowing smile plays on the mouth of the advisor.
Well...
Woohoo! Pretty impressive what our forefathers achieved here, isn't it?
The kingdoms all work together. If we do the same, nothing is impossible.
Hear, hear.
Okay, so I'm a little suspicious of the guy sent with me by Gandogar, because obviously Gandogar is my rival. He shouldn't actually help me, so I'm kind of concerned he might be like a spy or a traitor meant to stab me in the back. But then on the other hand, I guess it would be a nice subversion of my expectations and a nice display of a dwarven way of thinking where Gandogar provided me with a jewel smith because he felt it's fair. He felt we must have equal chances even though I am his enemy. Like, that would be actually kind of cool.
I still don't understand why you tricked me and why you were so set on coming with us.
I have been the Master of Stone for more than 200 sun cycles. My work is admired all over Girdleguard. There has never been a better secondling mason than me. But today, I don't want to be remembered as a drunkard with the chisel trembling in my hand, but as Bavragor Amethyst, undefeated Master of Stone who brought Keenfire to life. One last masterpiece.
I hope you understand me asking, but there seems to be bad blood between you and Boindil.
It's nothing that will endanger our mission. We've just always hated each other.
There's more behind it than commonplace hatred.
Bavragor doesn't react. His gaze is directed towards events that took place a long time ago.
You really should rein in your drinking. We need you in good shape.
There are some who say I'm only the Master of Beer and not the Master of Stone anymore. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I can't forget, no matter how much I drink. I wonder why we haven't seen any sign of Gandogar recently. Perhaps they took a wrong turn somewhere. I'm sure we'll reach the Firstling Kingdom before them.
0 XP earned? That's interesting.
We're not on the way to the Fiflings. We are on the way to the Firstlings. We're probably already under the land of the Custodian.
The Firstlings? Why?
The Firstlings have been the best smiths in Girdlegard since the Fiflings were wiped out. Only they can alloy Teonium and Palladium, which are actually mutually repellent. Anyway, we could use all the help we can get in the battle against Nodon, and... Damn. Goimgar.
It burns!
We won't get further this way, Scholar. What now?
It's all your fault, you imposter. I was nearly killed, and for what?
It is good that you are still alive. We need you for our mission.
So you can steal a throne that doesn't belong to you?
Hatred glints in the gem cutter's eyes, and for a moment you think he's going to attack you with the courage of desperation.
Okay, I think it's best to display, the qualities fit for a king, which is concern about the kingdom, as opposed to the throne itself.
I'm not interested in the title of High King. I am trying to save Girdlegard. Even if you don't believe anything else, you must believe this.
I don't have to believe anything. I am here against my will. My own thoughts are my only remaining right.
Enough! Gather up all the materials we can still save. If we manage to reach the Firstlings, we can get anything we're missing there. And it should be less than 200 miles to their stronghold.
After you have gathered together the materials, you begin to search for a way out. And after a sweaty climb, you reach a door adorned with runes. From here, you enter a large cave with a waterfall covering a sun-drenched opening. You walk through the waterfall one after another, and after the unintentional shower, you find yourselves in Wayan, near the enchanted realm of Oramira. You find yourselves on a plateau, and the river which falls as a waterfall here hides the entrance to the underground rail network. It then flows past a forest, behind which you can see a wall and tiled roofs. You check the map.
That must be Mifadadia. We'll go through the forest to the city and see if we can refresh our supplies and buy some ponies.
Okay. So I'm going there. I will try to hit as many of those. What? WACKENSTEIN? That's a pretty wacky name for a town, let me tell you that. I will try to hit as much of those question marks as I can along the way. So let's go.
Boindil strikes up song during your hike. A short while later, Bavragor joins in. But rather than actually singing along, he tries to outdo Boindil with his own songs. When he finally strikes up a love song, Boindil becomes absolutely livid. You take the stonemason to one side and ask him if he's doing it on purpose.
Of course I'm doing it on purpose. I'm gonna make him suffer the whole journey.
Can't go on like this. We can't fight amongst ourselves and save Girdlegard.
You take a short break before you dare breach the roots of the problem.
It's to do with a woman, right?
Not in the way you might think. Smeralda was my sister, a young thing of only 40 cycles.
Bavragor takes a large swig of his liquor before he continues.
She was almost as belligerent as Boindil, and she got it into her blockhead to stand by him in battle. A bad decision.
You can see the pain he is suffering in his eyes. You place a hand on his shoulder and put him under no pressure to carry on.
Okay, so I guess she died fighting alongside Boindil, and Bavragor now, holds him responsible for that. Which is actually, it makes me sad that there are no female dwarven companions, Because it's really cool that my whole party is composed of dwarves of different kind, but it's sad that there are no women. I would really enjoy, a female dwarf, preferably, a bearded one. Would be cool.
The constant bickering between Boindil and Bavragor distracts you. Goimgar hears the clanking of armor first.
Something's coming!
Before you know it, the orcs are charging towards you over a hillside.
Okay, so do I want this guy? What's his skill? Tough guy. Injuries don't reduce his health. He always starts a battle with 80%, cleave, and mighty blow. And this guy? Disagreeable. Nobody likes him. He automatically attracts enemies. Okay, that's kind of hilarious. Throws a handful of gemstones and can lure attackers to any location. Hide. He crawls under his shield and receives minimum damage. And rams his shield into his enemy's face. I think I will take this guy. He seems like a much more useful fighter opposed to this guy. Bring all heroes to the other end of the level, you say? Okay, that's a hilarious number of enemies, all things considered.
Taste my hammer! He won't last too easy!
Okay,
Of course! Prepare yourself!
The camera is
they're all here!
overall pretty annoying, I would say.
On my way! Huh? I didn't hit you very hard!
Because
what now?
it's very difficult to actually see what I'm doing with it. There mustn't be enemies close. Two remaining.
As good as done. And what now? Yes? Say goodbye forever. What is it? Huh? With pleasure. Hey! And what too now? Many over here. Who's next? Of course. Yes? On my way.
Okay, it seems like this one might be bugged or something. Isn't really
Say
moving.
Goodbye forever.
That was refreshing. Hey, here comes some more. 3, 4, 5 or 6.
5 or 6? Oh, phew. He means 5 or 600.
Goimgar turns white as a sheet.
That's too many. To the city. Come on.
Okay. So I guess we're going to hide behind the walls and fight them from there, which I'm not going to lie, is actually, a very prudent thing to do. We pretty much stand no chance against 600 orcs, with just the 5 of us.
You flee towards Mifadania, with Goimgar out ahead. The orcs at his back seem to have mobilized unimagined powers in him, and he reaches the gate first, hammering manically against it. He says something and scurries through a small gateway that has been opened to him. Moments later, you also reach the gate.
Get in, quickly!
You push your way through the gate as the first orc arrows slam into the wood next to you.
The other dwarf said we should bolt the gate behind him, but we could use all the help we can get when the orcs come.
That treacherous sissy, where is he?
Boindil and I will look for him. Boindil and Bavragor, Help the city guards in any way you can.
You were certain the two of them wouldn't be much help in the search for Goimgar.
Okay, so I guess I'm literally looking for him.
The main gate is bolted shut and makes a sturdy impression. As long as there are men who know how to defend the gate, the orcs will not be able to get through it.
So, have you found the little coward? He must be somewhere in the city. He's too scared to leave it.
Okay, I cannot talk to any of the human soldiers. But it seems there's a small side gate.
All of the gates are bolted shut. The city seems to be secure, at least for the moment. Locked gates also mean, of course, that you can't get out. In the past, travelling showmen regularly put up tents like this in front of Lot Yonan's vaults to draw a little money from the pockets of the servants and the famuli, with plays, vocal performances, and all kinds of fun.
The fabulous Rodario.
Cometh, dear spectators, cometh and see! Let the Theatre Curiosum, with its star actor, the fabulous Rodario, the mysterious Nomora, and the genius Magister Technicus, Fergus, carry you off to another world. Now see and hear, dear spectators, the truth about Nudin the Knowledge Lusty, who disposed of the other Magi in a most horrifying way and plunged Girdlegard into disaster.
Girdlegard, it will be mine.
Lot Yonan?
Okay, so if he doesn't kill me this time, then, you know, it's a bit of an overkill as far as being overly arrogant is. Like, how many times can he let me go? And then still presumably be salty at the end when he loses? Like, come on.
When you murdered Frala and the others...
To your horror, you realize that you can no longer talk. You feel a lump in your throat, and your eyes begin to burn, as images of the vaults and Cintharas appear in front of you.
I see that my first strike really hit you, groundling. Oh, how they screamed. If only you had been there to help them.
Okay, I'm not going to say this, because I presume they already know how important it is, but it's only making me seem desperate, and it's not like he's going to heed my words. So...
Before you know it, you are overcome with hatred for those who destroyed your home and killed your loved ones.
By Vracus, I'm going to kill you!
You might try to, and I will take great pleasure in your attempt. Who shall I pick out next, Who amongst your traveling companions means the most to you?
You don't want to take part in the Alf's game, and keep your lips tightly sealed while you consider your means of escape.
This way! Was that an elf?
If we're quick, we'll get that long ear yet!
Alarm! Alarm! The orcs are attacking! Come, we must defend the walls!
Okay, so once again I'm taking Bavragor.
Yes?
destroy all of the ladders. So
What is it?
it's presumably
That's
best
done.
to split.
Huh? Understood. On my way. Bavragor!
What is it? Of course!
Yes? Kill!
Okay, damn it. I hit one of my own people.
And what now?
What's up?
What is it?
Yes, yes!
I'm with you!
Huh?
What is it? And what now?
Okay, I would like to avoid hitting the humans, obviously.
Yes?
Yes? With pleasure.
What is it?
What's up?
I think I knocked out Boindil though, which is still pretty annoying.
Huh? On my way!
Huh?
Okay, apparently 3 orcs have slipped past my defense.
On my way. End it!
Still not that horrible, I guess.
And what now? What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
And I guess
Yes?
it's more and more with each passing second.
What is it? Say goodbye forever. And what now? Too easy. Come here, you.
He hardly put up a fight!
Yes?
Okay, I guess
Understood.
there's one more ladder somewhere. I presume it should be somewhere over there. Indeed.
I didn't hit you very hard. Pow! Another one bites the dust.
Attack! Vile creature! Bavragor! Very good. We're able to stop them. What the? Simple as.
You wish it weren't so. But it is clear to you now that the city can no longer be saved.
To the side gate. It's our only chance. Huh?
Wait, so we're going to flee? That's very dishonorable and kind of fucked up, because it is a pretty large city from the looks of it, if it could have afforded all of those walls. So there must be hundreds of people living here, and we're just going to leave them all to die? Just because they've broken through the gate? Like, maybe we should at least try to stop them or something, instead of just running away. That's overall, I'm not particularly happy with that, but I guess that is what the game is about.
What is it?
As good as done.
Yes?
And what now? On my way.
Yeah, I'm not at all happy about that, to be honest.
What is it?
Huh? As good as done. Yeah? Let's go.
Yeah, why not?
On my way.
What's up?
Say goodbye forever. Yes? With pleasure.
It's locked. We have to open it somehow.
Perhaps we can be of service, gentlemen.
Step aside.
Are you thieves?
Certainly not. We are artists. People with extraordinary talents. Say, friends, as you clearly mean to leave Mifadania too, would you have anything against us joining you?
I feel like both of those questions are kind of stupid and definitely not meant to be asked in the middle of the city being taken by an army of orcs.
We have a long and dangerous journey ahead of us. I don't think you really want to join us.
An epic and dangerous journey? That sounds like an adventure. And anyway, I have already seen that you know how to handle those weapons of yours. In these dangerous times, a big travel group offers the best protection, don't you think?
Well, I guess I'm going to ask both of those questions anyway, so I'm not sure why the game even gave me a choice.
The fabulous Rodario!
Oh, an admirer of my skills? Who would have thought it? I am indeed the one and only fabulous Rodario. This worthy gentleman here is Fergus, the best Magister Technicus since human thought. And last but not least, the enchanting Namora, whose beauty makes the mayor's roses wither in envy. Perhaps we should discuss the rest when we are out of this mess.
I don't know,
The orcs are still surging through the gate and over the wall. You decide that this isn't the right time for discussions.
All right then, let's go.
Let's get out of here. We'll be safe with the Firstlings.
The Firstlings. The splendor of their halls is said to be unrivaled. And I have heard they have fascinating contraptions, Fergus, that are almost reminiscent of magic.
It's open, let's go.
Okay, that's kind of seriously fucked up to me, how we abandoned all of those people to their death without even much of a discussion. Like, it was like, oh no, they've broken through the gate, let's run away like cowards. Like, that's kind of weird and kind of weak as well. And I didn't buy any supplies, which is kind of annoying, cause I'm not going to lie, I kind of need supplies. Well, I guess I found some, but that's not enough to really help me.
In the evening, after your escape from Mifadania, you recover from your exertions around a campfire. Goimgar withdraws to a solitary corner. Bavragor devotes himself to his alcohol, and the twins get their smelly dwarf cheese out. Namora and Fergus exchange hugs and kisses on the other side of the fire, while Rodario sits next to you.
Ah, a journey with real dwarves to the stronghold of the Firstlings. I'm sure I can write that into my new piece.
Yeah, that is actually a fair point. He seems to be some kind of an illusionist, or maybe even a shapeshifter.
I must congratulate you on your skills. Find it hard to believe that it's not achieved by magic.
Aha, thank you, but I assure you it has nothing to do with magic. Just alchemy and accomplished acting. We leave the sorcery to the magi.
Don't mention them. There's no love lost on Andakai and her working iron tower.
You've met Andakai the Tempestuous? That is unbelievable. How was she?
She ran away to the Outer Lands. A damn disgrace.
Yeah, I kind of agree with both of those statements, if it makes any sense, because I do feel like she must have had her reasons, and she did contribute somewhat by deciphering the book. But on the other hand, I feel like it was very stupid of her not to explain herself. But I guess let's give her the benefit of the doubt for now, because I think she will return. It would be pointless for her to be in the game for like an hour as a full-fledged companion, and she had her own skills and everything.
Andakai had her reasons to leave us. She had already fought against Nodon and was unsuccessful. Furthermore, we wouldn't be here without her, and she told us about Keenfire.
Andakai, the bringer of hope. I like that. I'll have to use that in my new piece.
True to his words, Rodario takes out his notebook and writes something down.
Do you know anything about the Firstlings? If I recall the map correctly, we need to cross the first large mountains in the Red Range and then pass through Snowdale to East Ironhald Stronghold.
No one has seen the Firstlings for hundreds of cycles, but there are many stories about them. Their craftsmanship is much vaunted, and there used to be trade via a narrow path that led into the mountains, but I don't think there is a man living now who has ever walked that road.
We're far enough away from Mithridania. Perhaps we should part ways tomorrow morning.
Rodario jumps up and begins to gesticulate ostentatiously.
I think you have underestimated us. Let me introduce myself and my colleagues once more. I am the fabulous...
We don't have time to look after a pack of jesters.
Rodario seems offended for a moment, but then he grins, turns away from the group and raises his right arm. A jet of flame shoots out of his sleeve. The dwarves are startled and amazed by the brief spectacle.
And what do you say now, critical Mr. Dwarf?
You're a magus. I don't particularly like them either.
At the Curiosum, magic is my area of responsibility. There is a tube under his arm with a flint and a bag full of Lycopediella seeds. When he firmly presses the bag, the flint sprays sparks and the seeds shoot out. And there you have it. Magic fire.
Masterly work, Fergus.
The Magister Technicus shows his appreciation with a nod of his head.
If they all have tricks like this up their sleeves, well, they might not be such a burden after all, Tungdil.
Well, do you have any provisions with you? Because I didn't have a chance to buy any before we dishonorably fled the town.
How are you doing for provisions? We don't have enough.
We are happy to share what we have. It isn't very much, though. We had to leave most of it behind.
Food is sure to be a problem on our journey. Winter's only just beginning to leave Wayan, and people will be keeping a tight grip on the stocks they do have because of the orc attacks.
We have to be frugal and organize as much food as we can. It wouldn't be much of a heroic story if we starved on the way to the Firstlings.
Our mission is to forge the legendary axe Keenfire and destroy the traitor Nodon. If you wish to accompany us through hunger, coldness, and danger, then do so. It's your decision.
How could we not partake in such a story? Just think what a wonderful play we could make of it.
If we survive. I was hoping to only resurface once we reach the Red Range. Instead, we have a long journey and a dangerous climb ahead of us.
There may be another way apart from the old trading route. A few years ago, an old man from the north told me of a place called WACKENSTEIN. Apparently, there is an old path there, older than the dwarven tunnels themselves.
Legends and stories. There's too much uncertainty. Let's just see what the next few days bring.
To be honest, those are some rich words coming from a person who is currently chasing legends and stories to forge a near mythical axe. So I think I will check it out. Although partially as well because I find the very name Wackenstein to be hilarious. There's an orc horde over here. I might actually kind of confront them. No. Oh,
you spend the night protected from the wind in a ruin, and are sitting around a campfire as the topic of your new companion's performance on the stage comes up.
Sleight of hand, speed, alchemy, and makeup can have an incredible effect. Namora transformed herself into an elf using the latter.
I also noticed your weapons, Namora. I've never seen such swords before.
Their names are Crescent and Sunbeam. I designed them myself. It took a long time until I found a smith who was able to make them.
She looks like a pointy ear too. Nature hasn't been kind to her.
For this absent-minded remark, Boindil receives evil looks from Nomura and grins from the men.
Perhaps I really am an elf, and will bring you a nightmare in your sleep tonight. Don't be surprised if you wake up screaming.
For a moment, it seems as though she has merged with the darkness, but when you blink, everything is back to normal.
By the gods, isn't she magnificent in her role?
There is no denying what Rodario says.
Okay, I wanted to intercept them, but instead it seems they are one step before me, and they will probably go ahead and burn all of the villages, which is pretty annoying. Okay, so I think I have to let them go, because, you know, if they move one step and I move one step, then they will always be ahead. I cannot, catch up to them, basically, so I'm sorry, but...
You are walking past an inconspicuous copse as Nomura suddenly stops on the spot.
Wait! We are not alone. Someone is watching us.
A trap?
Die, scum!
What are you doing? Why are you attacking us? We're dwarves too. We're on the same side.
I see honest dwarves here, but they are accompanied by scum. I will free you of it.
Oh, really? And what are you going to do on your own against 8?
You, come here.
What?
Brother, what are you doing?
So she has like a power of mind control or
Boindil,
something?
Boindil, what's wrong? Come to your senses.
It's no use. They belong to me. Now die, scum.
Well, I guess I have no choice but to take them. So Nomora's skill is that she's fast, and she can evade every second blow. That's pretty great. And his skill is that he's skillful, and gets 2 instead of 1 AP for every kill. Poison dart, shrill, to the knee. Okay. Fires an arrow into an enemy's knee. Well, that's a Skyrim reference if I ever saw one. Okay, overpower the mysterious female dwarf. I will.
What is it?
Or at least I will try. Okay, I think I'm going to shoot myself. Yeah, I definitely did that. Which is hilarious.
Good.
Okay, I would prefer to avoid hitting my own...
Yes, soon. What?
My own companions.
Soon!
Good.
I'm not that quick!
Where is she?
Fine.
Yes? On my way.
Maybe it's better this way.
Okay, so do I have to fight them?
No sooner does the unknown dwarf fall unconscious to the floor than her control over your comrades disappears. You fetter and gag her until you know more about her sinister powers.
That was, I hope I didn't hurt you, Scholar.
It was as if in a dream, but at the same time, it wasn't. I heard her voice in my head, and although I knew better, I only saw orcs attacking me. You were the enemy.
Boindil goes over to the shackled dwarf and kicks her gently with his boot.
This is never a child of the smith, even if she looks like one. Those gifts. By Vrackus, there is something evil at work.
You kneel in front of the dwarf and press your axe against her throat.
My name is Tungdil. If I remove your gag, will you answer some questions?
The captive nods, and you pull the gag out of her mouth.
Geralda is my name. It would seem I underestimated you.
Okay, I kind of immediately dislike her because I don't think... I have an immense distaste for using this kind of mind control power. It seems like something that's far too easy to abuse, and it doesn't seem like it's coming from a good source. So it makes me, it makes me immediately suspicious of her.
You said something about scum when you attacked us. Has Namora done anything to harm you?
Not her, but her kind. Alpha.
She is a human. She only acts at being an elf in theatre.
In the theatre?
For the first time, Geralda looks at Namora without a hateful expression.
She must die.
Well, actually, it would be kind of hilarious if it was the other way. Like, maybe she's one of the Alpha that are actually trying to be good, and she's pretending to be a human because she knows that if she just went around as an Alpha, everyone would hate her just for being one.
Your powers, I've never heard of anything like it.
Neither have I. I haven't had them for long. When I try to remember, all I see is black mist, and I taste iron and mud, and there's an elf who... Ugh.
Did the Alpha give you these powers?
When I try to remember, it hurts. Like needles sticking into my head. I am Geralda Bloodstone. I was...
Where have you come from, and what brings you to Wayen?
I was on my way to the Free Folk. They are said to live in the middle of Girdlegard, without kingdoms or their laws.
The Free Folk? You mean dwarves?
Yes, dwarfs who have left their kingdoms, voluntarily or otherwise. Not everyone has a place in their kingdom.
You instinctively think of your own plight. You are not a secondling, and won't be welcome among the fourthlings since you placed obstacles in their king's path.
Don't believe this nonsense, scholar. The Free Folk are just a fairy tale that people tell themselves when they don't want to stick to the traditions. Just look what good it's done Geralda.
Geralda prepares to reply, but then she holds back.
Enough talk! She is dangerous, probably crazy. She attacked us, we should put an end to her.
It's what you call amnesia, memory loss, a tool often used in stage productions. We don't know what happened to her, and maybe she doesn't either. We can't just kill her.
I am immediately suspicious of her, and to a major degree, but I feel bad about killing her not in combat. I would basically be executing her at this point. And no, she probably has some reasons for attacking me, even if it's trauma, by being maybe tortured by the Alpha, and she assumed that Namora is an Alpha, because which she might be, and as I said, that would be actually more interesting. I think I'm going to take her with me, because this way I can, keep an eye on her and make sure she doesn't hurt anyone else. And maybe, some important plot points will stem from it in the future.
She's too dangerous just to let go, so we'll take her with us. Remove the fetters.
You nip any objection in the bud and turn to Geralda.
Listen, I don't know what has happened to you, but we are dwarves and we shouldn't fight against one another. We could do with your help.
The female dwarf seems just as surprised by your decision as your companions.
Thank you. I would be happy to accompany you. I am Geralda Bloodstone, of the Firstling Kingdom. I'm sorry that I attacked you. It was a misunderstanding.
You realize that your decision doesn't please everyone. Boindil and Namora seem particularly upset. But they hold back, and you continue on your way, a slightly gloomy mood hanging over the group.
Okay, so Dragon's Breath or an Earthquake. Enemies in a straight line get stunned. Ignites the brew from his water skin and can set fire to innocent enemies. Okay, this seems like a very cool skill, so let's take this. And found some Russians, but that's still not enough. I literally need 9 a day. Hopefully I can buy some over here, or maybe here. But I will do this next time, because this episode has been long enough. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!